some other instruments on it, but I'll try to do a special acoustic version of it now. It's called Pulling on a Line.
Through like a train in a book, or meters underwater ending with a hook. It sways in the air when there's wind enough to lift. Fine ones are boundaries when there is a rift. Just pulling on a line, on a line. Oh, I'm just pulling on a line. I'm just pulling on a line, on a line. Sometimes it pulls on me. The line, it inks across the freshly fallen snow, where only those embracing coldness would go. Whistles and it whispers and sometimes it howls. It sings to me sweetly from trees and in vowels. I'm just pulling on a line, on a line. Oh, I'm just pulling on a line. I'm just pulling on a line, on a line. Sometimes it pulls on me. Itself across the dark sky. In the electric flashes ending with the sigh, it weaves itself into a fabric so true, and flows just like the river, graceful and blue. I'm just pulling on a line, on a line. Oh, I'm just pulling on a line. I'm just pulling on a line, on a line. Sometimes it pulls on me.
Very, very nice. Now, I'm noticing kind of in the two songs you played so far, just a nice, subtle, heartfelt, laid-back sort of atmosphere. And what are some of the influences for your music? And not necessarily just musicians, like even things and people and ideas. What are your influences?
Well, when I have downtime and time to write and stuff, I really like getting into the woods, getting close to nature, getting into the wilderness, getting into wilderness and getting close to like bodies of water and stuff. To me, like the quiet and calmness and stillness of that is really inspiring. In terms of music, I've always been really inspired by the writing and the music of Leonard Cohen. I think he's a real guiding light in songwriting, and I think it's amazing that he's touring right now, actually. I saw him a couple times last year, I guess. I don't know, I think I read a lot, and listen to a lot of music, but I think really getting out into nature and getting out into the woods is really what I find the most inspiring musically.
What's something you've read lately that really sparked something in your head or really set you off?
There's a Canadian writer named Joseph Boyden who just put out this book called 3 Day Road. That was sort of the last book that I just finished reading, and it's got some really pretty interesting perspectives on the sort of the Aboriginal viewpoint on World War One. There's a little bit of war stuff in it, but it's also interesting to see that the native sort of perspective on how that all went down. So it's a pretty great book. I mean, that one is the most recent one that blew my mind, you know.
And what's the most recent musical recording that's tripped your trigger?
Well, there's a band from Toronto called Timber Timbre, Timber Timbre. I don't know if you guys have heard of them, but
Yes, yeah, we have actually. We play them. We play them on the radio on this radio station.
oh, amazing! Yeah, that latest record, the self-titled one, is one of my favorite records of this year for sure.
All right. Well, you want to wrap this up with one final song?
Sure. I'm gonna go back to our first album for this song. It's again one of the this is one of the first songs I wrote. It's called Merge of Vessel Harbor.
In a harbor, perfect union of gift and reception, each and I on the same phase, loss and gain, fly into the mouth of the ground, 6 feet under. Thanks to some failure, fly into the mouth of the ground, 6 feet under. One for the light, one for the dark. Taste each other for a moment and combine. Polarized, share the same air. Oh, lay it down, oh, lay it bare. Speechless, naked as a fiery sunset, eternal but fleeting, destroyed but complete, in perfect cacophony, rising like vapor, solid and liquid, awkward, intrepid, stolen, paid for. Legs and knees and ankles and toes, when it burns and oh, when it flows. Legs and knees and ankles and toes, when it burns and oh, when it flows. Gathered and strewn from this altitude to some other moon, wearing false armor and useless shields that fail to exist. Crying out into the streets that are always prepared for the cry, prepared for the worst, crying out loud, but the noise is absorbed, and they are transfixed but untransformed. Stark accommodating echo into these hard-pressed streets, into these well-traveled streets, into these hard-pressed streets.
All right, and what was that one called again?
That was called Merge of Vessel Harbor.